So welcome to the XHeader tutorial. This is a two-part tutorial. Part one is going to be an introduction to why headers are so important and how XHeader works, the features and functionality of the application. And then in the second part, which is equally important that you watch, we're going to actually go through the process of creating a great-looking header in just a matter of minutes. So it's really important that you watch both of these tutorials to get the most out of this tutorial. Hope you enjoy watching them. Header graphics, one of the parts of a website that can make or break that all-important first impression, and that can be as important as determining whether someone stays on your site and potentially becomes your customer, or bails out and goes to your competition. And having said that, it's amazing how many people neglect this crucial part of their site design. Now, a lot of people don't have the design skills, the eye for what looks right on the page, and for some, the prospect of paying designers to do the work for them is just too expensive an option. And that's where the completely free XHeader comes into its own. XHeader is your one-stop shop for creating professional quality, eye-catching header graphics, as many of them as you want, for all of your websites. In just a few minutes, you can transform your site from a drab, unappealing wannabe to a crowd-pleasing success story. I know that's a bold claim, but you'd be surprised at just how important this part of your page's real estate truly is. Not only have studies shown clearly over the years that the prime real estate on your site is the area above the fold, that is this area here that people see initially on loading your webpage without having to scroll. Specifically, research points to the fact that the upper area, that being the header area here, is the first thing that a visitor looks at when they land on your webpage. So the header graphic really is your first and best chance to convey some important points about your business and about your site. So who you are, what you do, and more subtle messages like this is a professional outfit. So in this brief tutorial, I'm going to introduce you to this wonderful free piece of software and show you how you too can create stylish header graphics in no time at all. So let's take a look at XHeader. The first thing you'll see when you load XHeader is this welcome screen in front of us right now. And to get started with our new design, we just need to head up into this top left-hand corner and click the New button, as I'm just doing right now. And clicking that button loads the window that you can see just here, which is asking us to choose from 4 options. We have load a template from the template library. There's over 1,000 templates in there to get you started with your design. Create a blank header, so start completely from scratch. Load a header that you've already created in XHeader, so to carry on working on it and make some changes perhaps. Or finally to load an image, perhaps a photograph or some sort of illustration that you already have on your hard disk and that you'd like to use as the beginnings of your header design. So for this demonstration, we're going to select the Load from Template Library option, since this is one of the really exciting features in XHeader that will help you get going in the fastest possible time. And clicking the Load from Template Library button loads this template selection screen. Now, this screen has 2 sections, a list of 44 categories over here on the left-hand side, a great selection of categories as you can see there. And also we have a preview area here on the right-hand side with which we can preview the different header designs that feature in the selected category. To browse each category, all you need to do is to select the category of interest, i.e. the category that's most relevant to your website, and then using the scroll bar over here on the right-hand side, just browse through the different header graphic template designs available until you find one that you'd like to use. And for this quick demonstration, I'll just select this one here. Remember, you've got over 1,000 of these beauties, all absolutely free of charge. Now, just a quick note, if you see any of the header graphics in the categories grayed out or unselectable at all, that means you haven't registered your free copy of XHeader. Do be sure to do that to make certain you have the full selection of templates available. So as you can see, you can scroll down your list of header graphics in the selected category folder, as I've just done, and you can choose the header that you'd like to use as the basis of our header design by simply clicking on that header graphic, as I've done here. And then at the bottom, you'll see the OK button. If we click the OK button, that loads our chosen template into XHeader's WYSIWYG designer screen, ready for us to customize, to make this header relevant to our website. Remember, you need to convey who you are and ideally what you do with this graphic. Now I'll just take a moment to run through the different options available to you in this designer window so that you know what you can do with XHeader. And then I'll show you just how easy it is to create a basic header graphic for your site. The options that relate to the design process are mostly contained in this toolbar here, center screen. And running through the different options available left to right, we have, firstly, as you can see here, the select button. That basically allows us to select the different layers or design elements that we've added ultimately to our design and to move them around the design area just at the top here. The text button next to the select button allows us to enter text elements into the design here. Next to text, we have the line, square, and circle tools. And now, as the names suggest, these tools allow us to insert different lined shapes and filled shapes into our design. And these can make for nice, simple, stylistic additions to a design, and we'll see a bit more on that in a moment. Over to the right of the shape tools, we have the image button. And this allows us to add images from our hard drive into our design. And finally, we have a pair of buttons here that allow us to move the different elements in our design, the layers we add, up and down. Again, more on that in a moment. The other important parts of this designer window include the additional settings here below the toolbar. These settings allow us to change, where applicable, colors, opacity, line width, text settings, special effects, and shadow options of our text and shapes. And with a bit of experimentation, you can achieve some really great looking effects with those settings. And finally, there's also at the top here an options menu. And that options menu contains a number of settings and controls that will help you get your design just right. Things like a preview in browser option, a border tool, a tool for resizing the header so it's the exact right size for your website, tools for rotating selected shapes and so on within your design, and there's a whole bunch of other things too. So let's run through the process of creating a new header now from start to finish so that you can see just how easy the process is. And that's exactly what we're going to be covering in the second part of this tutorial, and I highly recommend that you watch it right away.